acting straight. It's like the same John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host English News here in the morning.
And a Golden Angel Award ceremony.
Hey, lovely audience, welcome to the East-West show that is exclusively sponsored by Wolfers, the Belgian royal family designated brand of jewelry that has 400 years of glorious history, handforged by 10 generations of the master craftsman, which stands for a testimony to the spectacular and the share of the royal glory. That brings us to the show today. With me is my dear friend, Mr. T.K. Shi, U.S. Army Reserve, and currently an instructor of safety and protection. Right. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jack. Again, it's an honor as always.
Of course, by introducing my guest today, you will probably know what we're talking about, right? Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're talking about a simple, one simple request, just a very, very one simple request to stay alive.
Yeah, that's not too much to ask, right?
Yeah, not too much to ask. We ask only simply as to stay alive. So that is the question. Of course, with what happened the last weekend at El Paso and later Ohio, and of course, the memory is still there. 2 or 3 years ago with the Mandalay Bay of Las Vegas,
right.
Lots of people died in the blink of a second due to some crazy shooters.
Yes.
Speaking of the crazy shooters, there are all kinds, but to us though, we do not need to know the reason why they are shooting. We just want to ask a simple question: how are we going to stay alive?
Yes, yes. I think that's a good thing to be focused on right now because, finding the route doesn't really save lives. What we need to do is to educate our public to be able to defend themselves in extreme situations.
And that came to me a very sad consideration. Mm-hmm. Now that we cannot take our weapons on the street,
right?
We do not have the concealed weapon laws.
Yeah.
And the bad guys know that we are the vulnerables, right? We do not even have 1 ounce of power in retaliation. We can do nothing.
Right.
So, okay, now, suppose if somebody chasing me, I know that I'm the target. I ran as fast as I could, or I run as fast as I could, right?
Right.
But all of a sudden on the street, when I'm walking with my wife and my kids, and there goes a bullet behind me. So I do not even know.
Right.
Right? So next thing I'm going to ask you, I'm not joking, I'm serious.
Right.
How much does it cost to get a bulletproof vest?
Well, they usually range from $200 to $400. Yeah, you can get those concealed ones, wear it inside your shirt, or those really tactical looking ones wearing outside. But
the question is, the theme is that I want to stay alive.
I know, right?
So
yeah, it's just
we're
really desperate here.
Rather than a bulletproof, what else do we need to do? Or of course, and that's why we have invited our special guest, Mr. T.K. Shi here. Before he touches base with all the tactics to stay alive, what is your general feeling or response or reaction when you first heard about the news?
The mass shooting, right? Well, of course, like everyone else, I was shocked, but also I really wish that I have talked to those victims beforehand about how to defend themselves and give them some kind of training so that when extreme situations happens, they know what to do. Because what's the purpose of training? Skills becomes reflex.
In
right?
other words,
And,
in a mass shooting like that, there are still tactics to stay relatively alive.
Exactly. Yeah. You know how in schools we have earthquake drills and fire drills, right? And some schools they have mass shooting drills, and I think that's really should not only be limited in schools. Every businesses, every organization should have some sort of training for their employees, for their staff, just to let the bad guys know that all of us are prepared. Okay, you want to do something crazy, you do something stupid, we are able to defend ourselves. We are trained and we are mentally prepared. That's what we really want. That's the message we want to deliver to the bad guys.
You just said you wish you had to talk to them, you had to train them, right?
Yeah.
If you did have the chance, though, right?
Yes.
What would you have trained them? What would you have talked to them?
Yes. Here's the thing. Remember last time we talked about home defense, right? And in any kind of defense, we talk about two main sections. The first one is always how to prevent that. And the second is, should it happens, what we do to save ourselves, right? So first one is being proactive. We are proactively preventing how not to become the targets of bad guys. And then we have to be reactive. We have to respond to the situation that happens. So if you like, we can first talk about how to proactively.
I'm hungry for those information because
I'm
so pissed off.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me here to give this knowledge to the public. And yeah, we really want as many people know as possible.
You said prevention, right?
Yes.
I found the word a little predictory because when you were having your good time in Walmart, though, there is no way to predict anything.
Right.
How do you prevent?
Right. Yeah.
So how do I have to understand your term of prevention?
True. Well, let's talk about the mass shooting last. First, I want to talk about something that happens more frequently. For example, street robbery or street rape. Or just somebody just grab your bag and just run away. They don't really want to hurt you. Yeah, like when you're being mugged or stuff like that. That happens more frequently, right, compared to mass shootings. So first we want to talk about that. So let's think about this. The first thing you can do to avoid being targeted is become invisible.
Invisible.
Yeah. We want to hide in plain sight that the bad guys won't even notice us. Isn't that the best way to prevent being hurt?
What does it mean? More specifically?
Yes. So the first thing we're talking about here is how to become invisible in front of the bad guys. So inside our brain, we have this reticular activating system. We call it RAS system.
RAS
yes.
system.
What does it do? This system is managing our attention. So pretty much what draws our attention activates our RAS system. So if we're able to not activate the RAS in the bad guy's brain, we will be invisible in his eyes. So how do we do that? First of all, there are some elements. We call them stimuli. Or a stimulus. They will stimulate the RAS system inside your
bad
brain.
Guys.
Yes. Something like I'll give you some example. For example, color.
Oh yeah. I was just about
think about this. Yeah.
To ask. Yes.
Yeah, and if you are among a group of people who are wearing black and gray, and you wearing this neon yellow.
Yeah.
And you'll be very hard not to be noticed, right? People will spot you right there. So if you blend in and also wear black and gray, and you become invisible among this group.
I see.
Right?
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And yeah, that's color. And then we have
All right.
yeah.
Okay. I'm learning. I'm learning. Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
I'm learning.
so you know, if a lady goes out on the street, if she wears really bright color, really unique color that doesn't blend in the street, she is very likely to be noticed by the bad guys. Therefore, be targeted. So
The lousy color, kind of like blouse.
yeah, really
or,
special
yeah,
colors.
or-
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. That's color.
All right. That's one thing we'll learn. All right, my
Yes.
dear friends, my lovely audience, the RAS thing probably is the first to talk about. In other words, there is some rules to follow, at least, thank God. Let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we will find more from my friend TK Shi. Stay with us, please.
Everything is
We have
expected.
to continue
Right.
to work
It's
on
like
it
the
now.
same John Wayne.
My name is Paul James. I host English news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow on the East West with my dear friend TK Shi, an expert and instructor of safety and protection or defense. Back to you though. I should say the first time I hear there are some ways to stay
Invisible.
invisible. Yes, that's the word, invisible. All right.
Hide
So
in
in other
plain
words,
sight.
not to address yourself in the too much of an outstanding way,
Right. Yes.
right? Color-wise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, just talk about a little more things about the color. So sometimes a lady's, a robber would get the lady's bag, right? Sometimes we all think that's this is an expensive bag. Oh, you shouldn't be getting an expensive bag out on the street or go grocery shopping. But sometimes it's really not the value of the bag, but maybe the color of the bag is just cause the bad guy's attention. Yeah,
I see.
I can be wearing a very expensive bag, but it's in a very unnoticed color and not be noticed by the bad guys. So really, color.
In other words, the color to the bag is also a catcher.
Yes. So color will be the number one thing we need to pay attention to, and also what other elements that stimulate the RAS system. Another one will be logos. Let's say your shirt, right? I have a logo here.
Logo, huh?
Compared to someone who just wear a plain shirt, this gets noticed by people, not just by bad guys, by everybody.
I see.
So if you wear something with a big logo here, you are not invisible.
I have my microphone here,
That's good. That's good.
and
Well,
that is not invisible.
yeah, but if the whole office wear that, and you still be invisible, yeah. So that leads us to another important element. First of all, we have to find out our baseline. First of all, we need to find out the environment that we are going to. And if we
okay.
find out first, and then we blend in, and we will become invisible. For example, everybody, if we're going to a government building,
Okay.
you would expect everybody wearing dress,
Okay.
right? Wearing dress suits, dress shirts.
Shirt and ties. Yeah.
Yes, shirt and ties. And if I go in there like this, I will be noticed easily.
Yeah.
Right?
You were picked over by the RAS.
Yes, exactly. So another example, if a lady wears very pretty, dress and expensive handbags, and she goes into a supermarket, that's gonna make her stand out because in the supermarket environment, people should not be wearing that, right? To go buy grocery shopping. So she is very easily noticed.
Yeah.
That's why
The
she might be
majority are business housewives.
Right. Yeah. People go to the supermarket. Yeah.
Homekeepers,
They're just plain
And
shirts.
then all of a sudden,
Yeah, wear casual shirts and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, this lady with gorgeous dress comes in, and it's very easy to notice her.
In other words, you're talking about contrast.
Yes.
So
we're talking about blending in.
You keep on using the word blending.
Yeah.
So you got to blend yourself into the environment rather than stand out strikingly, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna blending into the background. Yeah. But first, we have to find out what the background is, right?
Yeah.
So if you go to supermarket, you know what to wear now, right? If you go to a government building, I better put on a suit, right? If you want to blend in. So so that's another thing. Logo here. Yes.
Logo, yeah.
Yeah, and then what else? There are other elements. Let's talk about not visually, but also verbally. Let's imagine that if you're sitting in a restaurant and everybody is talking quietly and somebody's talking loudly, it's very natural for you to just look back and see what's going on, right? Try to find what's talking. So the volume of your speaking may stimulate the RAS system. So if you don't want to get noticed, if you're in public, I would speak quietly to not get noticed. Yes, that is the volume of the voice, human voice.
Oh, those are very, very useful tips.
Yes, I would say
those are very useful tips.
Yeah, if you learn about that, and every time before you go out, you would really think, would the bad guys notice me today? Right? And just look in the mirror and check, what you're wearing. Is this really noticeable? Is it too much? Will this caught the attention of the reticular activating system inside the bad guy's brain? Yeah.
Color. Voice, behavior.
Behavior, yes. For example, if you're inside a party, everybody is loud and happy and cheering and drinking, and you just sit there quietly by yourself, he or she is going to be noticed.
You are outstanding.
Yes.
You are outstanding.
Yep. You don't fit into the background. Because the background is this, this cheering behavior and this, loud environment. But
and on the contrary, there's a quiet meaning, right? Or in a relatively quiet place, though, you are the only one talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. So this also apply on the street. Say you don't want to get robbed on the street, right? And you might want to just, behave as low key as possible, right? And if you're with among a bunch of friends, I would probably not like yelling and shouting and laughing on the street. This draws attention.
Behavior.
Yes.
Behavior.
Yeah. For example, I would say if 2 or 3 girls are walking on the street, if they just chatting and laughing and giggling. And they might get noticed and become targets.
This is very, especially significant, because quite often you come across those flaunting girls. They dress outstandingly, they behave outstandingly, they talk outstandingly, they walk like crazy, like they are the only one on earth, right? So, all right, okay. Try to prevent that.
Yes. I mean, we want the attention of the guys we want to, attract, but at the same time, we might risk attracting the bad guys as well.
In other words, the moment the bad guy picks up the rifle, he is picking the color, the outstanding.
Well, what I just mentioned really applies to those smaller crimes like robbery or just theft or rape.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the small scale here. For the mass shooting, the shooter want to target large crowds, right? They want to really make their bullets worth. So when they shoot, they want to find the bigger crowds. So in a mass shooting situations, I would just get away from large crowds as soon as possible. Yeah. But there are more things to do, for mass shooting. Right now, we're still talking about those smaller crimes.
Okay, all right.
What you frequently get on the streets.
Yeah, listen. Let me follow your way. And what's next? To stop being outstanding, stop being the.
Right.
In other words, if you quote from you, to mingle to the environment, right?
Yes.
Right. The rest of the environment.
Yes.
So what else?
Okay, so when we do this, the first thing right, become invisible, we already lower the possibility of getting noticed a lot, right? But another thing you can do is to really create difficulty for the bad guys to get you, right? We want to make ourselves a hard target, not an easy target.
What do you mean?
How do we do that? There's several, a lot of things we can do, just really easy, daily actions we can take to make ourselves a hard target. For example, there are cases that this lady, she just came out of a supermarket and she was just putting the stuff.
I'm making notes. I'm taking notes. Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that.
Yeah,
yes. So there's this lady just get out of the supermarkets and loading the groceries in the back of the trunk, but she left the front passenger seat open. And that's really making herself an easy target. Anybody can just go there and just open the car and either drive away or force her to get into the car and force her to drive home.
You make it more convenient for the bad guys.
Yes, exactly. So let's make it hard. Let's make it not convenient for the bad guys to target us. Let's set another example. When you sit in the car, when I sit in the car, the first thing I would do is just to lock the door. It's just a simple button, just press that, and the door is locked. Yeah, right? Rather than getting into the car and sitting in the car and start calling or texting and with my windows rolling down, and that's really going to make you an easy target, right?
All right, okay.
So I would get into the car, lock the door.
Especially women.
Yes, exactly. Especially ladies who are going out by herself. Yeah, I would definitely improve those safety precautions, like just get into the car and lock the car and just drive away.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to. Yeah, I wouldn't want to.
That's a very valuable point.
Right. Yeah. And just when we think back, a lot of the things are really just common sense, but I guess a lot of us, we just don't realize the public safety situation is kind of decreasing. Yeah. So they never really thought about that.
All right. Well, sure enough, there are some ways.
Oh yeah.
To stay alive.
Absolutely.
And there are some ways to improve.
Yes.
Right. Okay, my dear friends, today with my dear brother TK Shi, U.S. Army Reserve, also instructor of safety and protection, and we're learning a lot. And at least I'm learning something. I'm taking notes, and I would
awesome.
Compose it into a little article for the for WeChat. How about that? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a short moment out. When we come back, we continue to find if there's still more.
Everything is expected. It's like scenes on waves.
It's called James. I'm supposed to this news.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, my dear friends, lovely audiences. Welcome back to the show. Jack Chow with my friend TK Shi on the public safety, and namely, we want to stay alive.
Yes.
Especially in the wake of the massive shooting in El Paso, in Texas, we really want to learn if there's any way, in addition to having to wear a bulletproof jacket.
Right.
I'm not joking. I was asking him about the price. Right. I think about getting some for the family. Well, there's nothing else. It looks sure enough there are some ways to do. So rather than follow my own list of a point of talking though, I'll follow yours. So go from your end on. What else are the little teeny tiny tips that will help us save life?
Right. Well, thank you, Jack. So we were talking about how to prevent
Not to be
being targeted.
Easy target.
Right. So first thing we talked about how RAS system inside our brain works and how to not draw attention. And the second point we talked about how to create difficulty, how to increase the difficulty of being hurt by the bad guys. So yeah, that's make us hard targets, not easy targets, right? Yeah. And the third thing I want to talk about is, in wars, we talk about to win a war, you really need to be sneaky. You need to be stealthy. You need to cheat your enemies. You need to trick your enemy and create false images for yourself to trick the enemies, right?
All right.
So in street defense, we also want to trick the bad guys.
You can trick the bad guys?
Yes, we can.
All right. How can we?
For example, if we go, if I'm a lady and I wear a handbag and I go to the grocery store, go through the market, I would hide my bag inside a grocery bag. That way, nobody's gonna see the purse, right, or the handbag, because it's in the grocery bag.
Okay,
yeah. That way we trick the bad guys. The bad guy thought, oh, this is a grocery bag and there's nothing valuable to it, so probably just switch target. Yeah. This is about tricking the bad guys.
In other words, to wrap your good purse with an outsider bag, which is
a grocery bag.
Grocery bag.
Yeah, a shopping bag.
Like 10 cents per.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good point. Okay.
Yeah, we want to make them feel that we're not worth robbing. Yeah. We want to make them. We want to give them the impression that we don't worth their time. Yes. So we want to hide the valuable things inside invaluable things, and also just what you're wearing.
For that, I really learned something. My book, Stormy Paradise, has been becoming a vintage because all sold out, right?
Wow.
And I had my friend in China who made me some extra copies with the hardcover.
Okay.
I prepared that as a gift to give to good friends, something like that.
That's great.
I have that delivered all the way from China to myself, which I keep in the car.
Right.
You know what I did?
Yeah.
I keep them in a very, very beautiful gift box. For that, the car was robbed.
Oh.
Not broken in, but I forgot to lock it.
Oh.
Nothing lost, but that boxes.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Because you're saying that it is the box that attracts them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make it a value, right?
Yep,
Valuable. So as a matter of fact, it's only a book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's because we, really give them the wrong impression that it's a valuable thing that's worth, reselling or anything. So, sometimes we don't even need to do the things that I mentioned. We just need to undo some things that we do that attract bad guys.
Yeah. All right.
For example, leaving valuable stuff in the car, and this is just cliche. Everybody knows.
Which in my case, I testify that was a bad
Right.
habit.
Well, I did that, as well. Believe it or not, I once left an Amazon package inside the car, and I was just gonna return it at the UPS store, but I just got lazy, and I thought, oh, I'll do that next day. So I left that overnight, and my window got smashed. Yeah, and it's really not valuable things at all inside that package.
Yeah,
But,
that package.
but
yes.
it's there, and it draws attention, and we give them the wrong impression that it is worth something. So let's create, false impressions that nothing
All right,
we
okay.
got here is worth your time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And once I was driving to San Francisco, passing an area with a huge warehouse,
Okay.
right, which has a long wall painted in white. You know what is written on the wall?
What?
It says, "Everything worth stealing has already been stolen."
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, probably we should all say that. We
Right.
should all do that with a little flag, right, saying everything worth stealing has been stolen.
That would be
That'd be good. And what else? Is there anything else we can do?
Well, yeah, because we got limited time here, so let's just talk about those 3 points that helps you prevent being targeted, right?
Okay.
But also, I really want to talk about what, should dangerous situations happen, what really you can do to save your life.
Okay.
Yeah. So the number one principle that we really need to follow when it comes to any kind of defense is that human life is the number one priority, right? Nothing is more important than your life. So, compared to your valuable things, if your life is gone, everything is gone, right? Nothing is worth anything to you if you're dead, right? So we always want to keep us alive first, right? That leads to a lot of things we can do here. Let's say, for example, you are being robbed, right? And we have this system here. So first of all, before anything, we need to find out the intention. We need to find out what this guy wants, right? Let's say I'm a lady. This guy could be robbing my valuable things. He could be, planning to rape me.
Yeah.
He could be planning to adopt me and get me to somewhere else, get me to inside a car or anything, or other intentions. So I would say.
By the way, I got a little question to consult.
Yes, Jack.
Is it legal to keep a pepper spray in the purse?
Oh yeah, it's legal. Yeah,
It's legal,
Yeah,
right?
it's legal. It's even legal to hold it in your hands while you're walking on the street. That's totally legal.
How about what is that? Electric guns?
Electric guns, yeah.
How about that?
Sure, that's
Is that
a
legal
non.
to keep that in the pocket?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a non-legal
in
one.
your purse.
Yes, you can.
For
You can
ladies,
yeah,
right?
you can do that.
All right.
You can do
okay.
that. Yeah.
So we can confirm with our audience it is legal.
Yes, it's doable, but we just really need to find out
Pepper
if you
spray.
are really able to do that.
Yeah, pepper spray.
Yeah.
What do you mean by we're being able?
Let's say if I just rob you right now, you have a
Oh, I see.
laser in your bag or those weapons, you can't get it out, right?
Yeah.
Unless you keep it in your hand.
Well,
But
I can walk with my hands in my pocket
all right, I guess you can do that.
and then put my fingers on it any moment.
Right.
You
but-
come over, there goes it.
Yeah, but let's say if I keep a gun at you right now, and I say, get your hands out of your pocket. What would you do? As soon as you get the pepper spray out, I might shoot you, right? Bullets are still faster, right?
Yeah.
Though that's the point. Some self-defense tools you are carrying might even cost your life, might even do damage. So we really need to be careful about the tools we select. And for our case, the things that we really want the public to know, the thing we're going to talk about today, doesn't involve any tools. Okay, I would not recommend right now. I would not recommend any tools for our lady audience out there. Anything you bring could just make the could just aggravate the bad guys, make them angrier, and make
Agitate.
them agitate the bad guys. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we really need to be careful.
Unless you're quite sure that you can use it. Right?
Yes, exactly.
For example, if the bad guy doesn't have a gun,
Right.
with a knife,
Yeah. Okay.
which allow you the time to apply the pepper spray.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So, well, let's go back to the first step we want to do. That is intention assessment. We really need to find out
Intention
what he
assessment.
wants.
Uh-huh.
Let's say, if I point a gun at you, I just ask you for your money. And now you are assessing the intentions, right? I am a robber. I want money. What would you do to keep yourself alive? Remember the first principle? Nothing matters more than our lives, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I have a gun at you, do you really want to fight the gun? Do you really want to grab the gun from my hand? Or you just give me my, the money and let me go?
Yeah, just surrender. Let go.
Exactly.
Right.
That is how important intention assessment is.
In other words, to always keep it clear in mind that nothing values more than your life.
Exactly.
Right, good.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
my dear friends, let's take a short moment out. We come back that we have left over only one area about the El Paso shooting. That I have one question to ask. Before it's too late, before I forget that, I would have to leave a foreshadow here, and that I heard that in whole Texas, everybody can wear concealed weapons. Now, how come in El Paso of Texas, well, people just no respond, no retaliation, no crossfire, that happened at that very specific location at a very specific time, right? So stay with us. We will be right back, please.
Everything expected, straight, it's like it seems on
My name is Paul James. I host this news every morning.
And a golden angel award ceremony.
Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience, and welcome back to the show. As a matter of fact, I know that there is not exciting news to talk about, not exciting topic to talk about, but when it comes to how to stay alive, I would say, it falls in everybody's ballpark.
Right.
Everybody wants to know something about it.
Right.
So with my friend TKC, we're learning a lot. There are small tips that are useful, I would say quite useful in some areas sometimes if you do utilize them, right? And we're talking about the risk assessment, right?
Right.
Or danger assessment. So what else do you want to go over there?
Yes, so we were talking about intention assessment, right? It is really very important because that might determine your life or death. Let's say I am just robbing you and asking you for money, and you just fight me. That could cost your life, right? Because you didn't, assess my intention well. If you have that process, you know that I am just robbing you for money, and you give me the money and let me get on my merry way, and everybody is safe, right?
Yeah.
Let's set another example. For example, a lady. I'm a bad guy, and I am confronting this lady. She also needs to find out what I want, right? And she's gonna want to communicate with me and say, "What do you want? Please don't hurt me. If it's just things, money, I can give you everything I got on here. Just don't hurt me." Have this intention, and have this assessment. If the bad guy doesn't really want anything, he just want to rape her, and she
I
will
was
find
exactly going to ask that.
Right.
Should she give up, or should he fight?
Right. Yeah, that comes to the next level of self-defense. We really need to, after our, getting our intention assessed, we really need to make a decision. on if we just, follow what he says or fight back or just run away. There are a lot of skills and techniques
it depends
in there.
on you could run.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can't run. You're there.
Right.
Or press down like that, right?
Right.
So
that requires training. And we are actually giving self-defense lessons to everybody, not only ladies, but also just guys like us and also children on how to prevent school bullying. So there are all kinds of ways. If somebody just pins you down on the ground, you can get up, you can fight back and get away from the scene. That requires training. But we're still, before everything, before the fighting, before the, trying to escape, we first assess the intention and we communicate with the bad guy. What do you want?
A question
What do you not
I
want?
wonder if I may ask, right?
Yeah.
In between stay alive and money. Of course, you give up money to stay alive.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now in a situation of being raped, though, do you give that up for life?
Right. Well,
What do you
yeah,
recommend?
that's a very interesting decision that the lady needs to make on their own. But let's think about this. If you just, give up, you might still be killed after you're raped.
Yeah.
If you fight back, you might still be killed. If you do anything wrong, and you might get killed. So you really need to make the decision yourself on what you want to do, and also still assess the situation. I would say if you feel that the bad guy is just drunk or just on drugs, that you can just easily defend yourself with the skills that we provide, with the training we give to to our students, you can just fight back, right? If there are a bunch of bad guys and some standing there pointing a gun at you, that's a whole different story, right? So we really need to assess the situation.
Good. I leave that intact for the time being.
Right.
Let me play a little bit naive. They ask a little naive question. Oh, probably that's an attorney question. We know in California we're not allowed to carry concealed weapons, right?
Well, technically we can, but it's just in LA County, it is very difficult to apply for one.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But in general, we can't. We can't carry concealed weapons.
Well, technically we can. We are allowed.
We are allowed.
If you apply the permit successfully.
If I do, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So in general, when the majority of people do not do though,
Right.
they are not allowed to carry concealed weapons.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
now, what if that very moment when this very lady was being raped, she happened to be a carrier of concealed weapons, and it was the concealed weapon that saved her?
Yeah, that's very possible.
Okay, what if that happens? Who violates the law first?
Oh, the lady has every right to shoot the bad guy, to shoot the attacker.
Even with a concealed weapon that is not licensed?
Well, if the gun is not licensed, or she, might face legal problems in the end, but, it was all self-defense. So I would say the society and the prosecution and the public would, understand her action. I would definitely support her action. Okay. Although she's going to face some legal problems. Yeah, that's why I would recommend everybody to apply for the permit, okay? And also train the gun, okay? Before you decide to carry.
Yeah, for that we come to you.
If you don't carry, that's a liability.
Okay, my last question that I come to you though.
Yes.
Speaking of carrying concealed weapons though.
Yes.
Texas, which is a state that allows that, right?
Yeah,
Everybody
very gun-friendly state. Yeah.
So how come it happened what had happened in El Paso, Texas, when everybody has the right to hold on a concealed weapon?
Right. Well, according to my research, that Walmart in El Paso is a facility that's called gun-free zone. Yeah, maybe just the owner or some board members decide that we don't like guns in this facility. If you come in, don't bring the gun here. This is what we call the gun-free zone.
Gun-free zone.
So the shooter actually drove around 600 miles to get to that Walmart.
600 miles.
Yes, because every other facilities around him allows legal concealed carry. That means there are good guys with guns around him and could be a threat to him and maybe preventing him from finish his mission. So he had to drive a very long distance to get to that specific facility that doesn't allow the citizens to carry guns inside. That may be a contributing factor to the number of people dead or injured.
In other words, for a conclusion, concealed weapons do deter the bad guys.
Well, let's just say that there are good guys defending the safety of this society, and they have the right tools to do that, which is their concealed weapons. And once we take that away from those good people, we are just like killing all the cats, and now we need to deal with the rat problem by ourselves, because we just take away the power of the good people to defend the safety of the society. So when everybody is talking about gun control, we really want to really sit down and use our logic and think about this. Imagine the country that gun control is reality, and everybody needs to submit their guns. Is it really a good thing? So who will submit the guns? The good guys, right? The law-abiding citizens whose guns are registered. They will have to submit the guns because they're registered. But what you don't see are the guns in the bad guys' hands that are not registered, and they will never submit the gun. They will never surrender the guns.
Let me be honest with you. My audience can testify that I was a pro-gun control for quite some time.
I hear you.
And I was one of the very probably strongest. And later, when tragedies keeps on happening again, lots of people with a barehanded gets killed for no reason.
Yes.
Right. How I wish they had a gun on hand at that time. Right. Even if they die something like a man.
They die fighting, right? Exactly.
They die with a fighting.
Yes.
Rather than like they kill like rabbits.
Yeah.
Right. So how I hate that happen. So bitter and the bitter, by and by, I kind of shift myself to the point that let's have it, let's do it. Right. Now I'm joining the party, if there is a party, to call for concealed weapons, which retaliate. How about that? The bad guys, which deters bad guys.
Right.
Had he known bad guys around, he would not be doing that much at least, right?
Exactly.
Do you think I make a point? My change? I mean, my shift.
I agree with you, Jack.
Yeah.
And the bad guys know that when they commit crime, the police will, it will take some time for the police to arrive.
Yeah.
So the only thing can stop the bad guys are the good guys with the right
with
tools.
a weapon, yes.
With weapons.
Last time, 2 years ago, in San Bernardino County, right? Right. That was the fastest to respond because a unit was just out there.
Right.
Right. And then on call, they got there within 6-something whatever minutes whatsoever. But 6 minutes is long enough to kill 600.
Oh yeah.
Right. And even a second is enough to kill one guy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
well, this recent mass shooting in Ohio is just also very lucky that there's a police unit around.
Yeah.
And they just fought back, and there were several very brave police officers who just run towards the bad guy when everybody else is running away, and that was really heroic behaviors. And but we can't count on them to be on time every time, right? We really need to make ourselves stronger, tougher, more powerful, so that the bad guys have to think twice when they want to hurt us.
Also, we have to take note of your tips. Right?
I will send you a complete note.
You really want to make yourself invisible by not wearing those sharp or bright color stuff.
Right.
When you can't mingle yourself to the rest of the folks.
Yes, blending with the background.
Yeah. And then in a public place, you don't want to be the loudest one, the loudest one.
Right.
When your voice is concerned, and behavior-wise, you don't want to be the one, the eye catcher, that bad guys, RAS, right? Would respond to you right away.
Yes.
And you try to make yourself a hard target, not an easy target. Those are important tips.
Right.
And by packaging your valuable stuff with regular shopping bags, grocery bags.
Trick the bad guys.
Yeah, trick the bad guys.
Yes.
And also be careful with tools, right? And you're using tools for protection, though. However, you have to be very careful with that.
Yes.
Make sure you do have time to do that, right?
Make sure you have training for the tools you are selecting. Yeah.
And then as a conclusion, we understand from the incident of last happened that the gun-free zone had a great part to do with it.
Yes, makes them a bigger target.
Okay, very good. Yeah. I have about a minute left. You want to wrap it up, please?
Well, Jack, first of all, thanks again for having me here to talk about safety with your audience. And still, I'm a firm believer that if the victim becomes tougher, there will be less victims.
All right, okay.
And counting on protectors to protect us is like kids relying on their parents' support even when they become an adult. So it is really time that we victims become stronger and train ourselves and let the bad guys know that we are not easy target. And whoever just want to act stupidly, they need to think twice.
All right, thank you very much. My dear audiences, I appreciate this opportunity to touch base with my friend TK on the bottom line issues. And the bottom line theme is that we want to stay alive.
Yes.
However, in a situation like this, when a massive shooting happens here and there, everywhere, almost, oh my God, almost every single day though, you really, really want to find out, is there a solution rather than a bulletproof jacket, right? Okay, now, we learned some tips, at least today. So hopefully you will follow those tips. And thank you for watching, my dear friends. We'll see you next time.